Exaucé,
Yes, sir. Sorry,
how
I'm
you
just
doing?
working at the moment, man.
That's all right, bro. That's all right. How can I help you today?
Yes, man. Listen, I've been watching your content for a while, man. Um, really like it. Right? I've been watching for the last couple of years, actually.
Appreciate it.
And obviously, one thing we've got in common as well is the fact that we both played for Dulwich Hamlet. That's
No
how,
way.
yeah, yeah. That's how I even connected with you even more. But
Okay.
nah, I've really liked your journey in terms of like from rent to rents to now buy to lets. I want to get into buy to lets rather than rent to rents.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to get your take on, how that how that would be better for me in terms of cash flow and
Mm-hmm.
everything else. Sorry,
Yeah, that's all right.
did I word that okay?
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense, bro. That makes sense. So I guess
Yeah,
the two main differences between the two is like rent to rent's more of a business. It's gonna take you a bit more work and effort to get going. And buy to let, like you said, you get to own the asset, right? So you get to benefit from the wealth side of it when it goes up in value.
yeah,
It's more of a long term play. It's not
yeah,
something that's going to make you rich overnight, you know?
yeah,
But I think if
yeah,
you can manage to save sort of 20 to 30 grand in that sort of region,
yeah, yeah,
that's a good amount of money to get
yeah.
started with for buy to let.
Okay.
Typically, if you go and find somewhere up north or in Wales, you'll get somewhere for 100
Mm,
grand around that sort of price
mm,
point.
yeah, yeah. That's definitely the price points that I'm looking at. But
Hmm.
from what I've seen in your content as well, is that with your buy to lets, you tend to profit around the £400 mark, isn't it?
Yeah. 350, 400.
400. Yeah, that's definitely a target that I'm looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's a little bit harder to find those sort of profits in the Midlands. Would you say that South Wales is definitely somewhere that you can consistently get something that sort of profit
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the area?
Yeah, South Wales works for me, but there's other areas that work as well. I've got some like I just come off the
Yeah,
call with a student that I've just taken on. He's looking in Walsall. There's good areas all over the UK as well. Um,
mm,
Northeast, northwest. It just depends, you know. But Midlands is okay as well. But it's wherever you can get the
yeah,
most rental income for your money, you know, and that's something that you'll have to do the research on, or if you wanted to work with us, that's something that we could work with
yeah.
together.
That sounds that sounds really good. And what's your take on buy to essays? What's your take on that?
Yeah, I like them. I've done a few myself. Um, there's a lot more work that goes into them.
Mm,
There's more moving parts. You got to know what you're
yeah,
doing. You got to furnish the whole place as well. So obviously that costs a few more grand. You've got to employ like
yeah,
a housekeeper or a cleaner to help you with the turnaround. Ideally,
yeah,
you'd like people to come and stay like
yeah,
for the week, and then have cleaner come in on the weekend, fix it up, get it ready, do the
yeah,
laundry, do the linen, and then get it ready for the following week. It can
yeah,
work really, it can work really well. It's a good way of making more than 350. You might make 800, 900, maybe even 1,000, especially in the summer. But there will be
mm,
more stress and more moving parts to
yeah,
it, you know? So it's depends where you're at. If you want to really maximize the asset and sweat it and try and make as much money as possible every month from the cash flow, then it's an option.
yeah,
You know? But it's definitely changed from a couple of years ago when it was booming and it was like everything you rented on Airbnb and Booking.com just gets booked every second. It's a little bit different now. It's a bit more busy, bit more competitive, and
yeah,
the occupancy rates have dropped a little bit from where they were sort of 2022, 2023, just because there's a lot more stock on the
yeah,
market now. But if you do it right and you furnish it well, then you can make
yeah.
some money, you know?
Definitely, definitely. I think that those are the two that I'm looking at, buy to lets and buy to SA.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely need some guidance on that. But what was I gonna say? I had one more question, so I wrote it down as well. Let me just get to my notes. Sorry.
No rush, bro. No
Um,
rush, bro. Take your time, man.
with me,
Hmm.
obviously my property journey started about a year ago.
Hmm.
They created a company thinking
Hmm.
I was gonna get rent to rent,
Hmm.
but ended up changing the company to just a buy to let company, changed the city
Hmm.
code and so on.
Yeah.
Would you still recommend that people buy properties in their companies rather than their personal names? And what differences is there
Yeah.
in those two things?
Yeah. I mean, if you're trying to build like a portfolio, like more than three or four over time, then I think you should definitely go with a
Yeah,
limited company. The differences
yeah,
are there's more cost with the limited company side of things. So
yeah,
obviously you have to pay for an accountant to do your accounts every year. Sometimes the
yeah,
interest rate on the mortgage that you get can be a little bit more expensive as a limited company versus
yeah,
as a individual buyer. So that can be a little bit
yeah,
more expensive on that side. But I think if you're trying to buy more than one over time and you want to build a portfolio, then I think it's definitely more tax efficient to go with the limited company option. Another
yeah.
key difference is you can't offset the mortgage against your income when you do it as a buy to let in your own name. Whereas when
Yeah.
you do it as a limited company, you can deduct the mortgage interest from the rental income that you collect. So basically, you get to pay less tax, basically, if you do it as a limited company versus doing it in your own name.
Yeah,
So
it's a lot more tax efficient, basically.
it's more tax efficient. Yeah. If you was just going to buy one, then I would say maybe just do it in your own name, just to make it easier.
Yeah,
If you got plans to eventually build it, where you have three or four or five and you want to keep going, then I think it's best to do it as a
yeah,
company.
that sounds good. As you can imagine, within the social space,
Hmm.
you're probably one of the only guys that are, documenting their journey in terms of investing in Wales.
Hmm.
I just wanted to ask,
Hmm.
obviously, you must have a lot of people interested in Wales now, just because of your content, right?
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
everyone asks in your comments, like, where's this? And you always say
Yeah.
Wales. I wanted to ask, obviously, as a man that lives in England, yeah,
Yeah.
if you wanted to invest in Wales, would you need to do some sort of registration, or can you just invest immediately?
You can invest immediately. I mean, I'm in England now. I'm in Crystal Palace. Whenever I want to go and
Really?
buy, yeah, whenever I want to go and buy, I just drive down there. It takes 3 hours, but
Yeah,
it's a it's a good place to get started. It's cheap. Like I said, most places
yeah,
in the UK up north, they're going to take you a couple hours to get to where you can get similar prices. But
right,
you don't need any fancy license or any special certification to buy property in Wales. You just need to be able to drive down there and maybe stay in a Premier Inn or an Airbnb for a couple nights, do some viewings and put some offers in, you know?
yeah, okay. And even if you wanted to do it as a service accommodation, I know that
Mhm.
with Scotland they've got these rules, right?
Yeah.
Does Wales have the same thing, or they like
No,
England? Oh,
no, they're nowhere near as stringent on the rules in Wales as they are in Scotland. I know they're quite on it with the rules in Scotland. They're not too keen on
yeah,
HMO and service accommodation there. But in
yeah,
Wales, no, there's no rules that you have to really go by. Obviously, there's the similar rules you have in England with the HMO licensing, if it's an HMO, or the 90-day
mm,
rule that you have in London. But
yeah.
o- other than that,
Sounds good, man. Um, Sounds really good. Honestly. One more question I had was
hmm
on one of your properties.
yeah,
There was a what do you call them? A real,
hmm
or
real,
one of them? Yeah, real.
yeah,
On one of them, you wrote down. Obviously, I think your rent was about 1,200 or something like that, and
hmm
you wrote down bills
hmm
at that 294. Um, was that for a buy to let, or was that for service accommodation?
So
Um,
I do like a in between sort of model. So
okay.
I furnish them,
Yeah.
and then rather than renting them out as a SA, I'll rent them to like a doctor or a nurse
Right.
with all the bills included,
Right.
but like an in between price, somewhere between buy to let and SA, I guess. So they might
Right.
stay for 3 months, 6 months, but they're gonna pay like a premium to me for that because it's all included with the bills and it's all furnished quite nicely, right? So if it was one of the ones that was 1,200, that was probably one of the ones we've got a doctor in,
Yeah.
and he's just paying that because he's there for 6 months, and he'd be paying 2 grand in a hotel probably if he was
Yeah.
staying there every night. So yeah, we like to go in between the lines a little bit, and we find that most of our buy to lets we do them like that. We furnish them and then we rent them to like dentists, doctors, people like that. and try and get
Yeah, yeah,
a little bit more from the income.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's probably
That
what that
makes
one
sense.
was.
Okay, that makes sense. So, because I was just thinking to myself, because it was a buy to let,
That's a
I
big
was a bit
margin.
confused on why you was paying the bills, but
Yeah,
now it
yeah.
makes sense because obviously
Yeah, I mean that's
more
what
of
we do.
like a service accommodation, right?
Exactly, yeah. That's what we're used to in our business. Like with the rent to rent stuff, that's what we do. It's the same sort of model, right? So oftentimes we get
Yeah.
people asking for properties for our rent to rent properties and they're full. So then I end up
Mm,
telling them just go and stay in one of my houses 20 minutes away. It's the
right.
same thing, it's furnished, all the bills are included. So we get like an overflow of people from the rent to rent side and then we just end up putting them in our own houses, just to make a bit more like that.
Yeah, that's brilliant, man. And how much has property changed your life in terms of,
Oh, it's
just freedom? Because I know you've
yeah.
just had a little one.
Yeah, well, he's on the way. He's on the way now. He'll be here in a couple months. Um,
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you, bro. It's a blessing, man. It's changed my life completely, bro. Completely from 7 years ago when I first started. Football
Yeah,
was obviously my passion initially. That was my first dream. That didn't work
yeah,
out. So sort of by 2023, 24, I was a little bit lost, didn't quite know where I was going to go next. Stumbled across
yeah,
property around 27, and then started the
yeah.
rent-to-rent business at 28, and
Mm,
it's changed my life completely, bro. It's given me it's probably the next best thing I could think of other than being a professional footballer that could happen.
yeah, of
Um,
course.
it's allowed me to live a good quality of life. I've got loads of time on my hands. I've got a lot of passive income coming in, so I don't have to physically work.
Mm,
And yeah, I get to raise a young family now, hopefully, and spend time with with my loved ones and that. And it gives me a good feeling of achievement as well, like helping other people as well with the
yeah,
education side and things like that. So it's changed my
of
life
course, man.
completely, bro. It's been a real blessing.
Yeah, that sounds really good, man. Sounds really good. No, honestly, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
No worries,
Sorry
bro.
for looking so rough. I'm just
That's
working
all
right
right.
now.
That's all right, bro, man. It's cool, man. I'm working, you're working. It's this part of the game, man.
Exactly. And one piece of advice that I wanted to ask as well,
Yeah, yeah,
since you've played football yourself,
yeah.
um, I'm 24 now,
Mhm,
been playing non-league for the last, since I was 19 to 18.
mhm.
Um, I've now got myself into a career that I enjoy, which is HGV driving.
Yeah,
I'm earning quite well,
yeah,
obviously looking to invest.
yeah.
Would you recommend that I keep playing? Is that something that you would recommend for me? Because I'm in two minds right now, man.
Yeah.
What would you say?
It depends, man. It's a personal decision. For me,
Yeah,
I got to 24 and I was like, I felt like I wanted to be playing at a higher level at that point.
yeah, yeah,
And I felt like I'd given all my years to football from, I don't know, from 15, 16 all the way up to 24, right? So at that
yeah,
point, for me personally, it was like, okay, I need to find something else that's gonna really set me up for life, and really give me that type of lifestyle that I want. So
mm,
for me personally, at that stage, I felt like the time it was taking to go and travel on Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, Saturdays, coming home late, I felt like if I could get that time back and put it into either, a career or something that was going to actually look after me,
yeah.
then that was going to be more beneficial for me at that time. I didn't
Right.
have it at that exact time at 24. I had to go and, experiment with a few things and try some stuff and finally sort of
Yeah,
figure out what I wanted to do at 27. But
yeah,
I mean, if I had been playing football that time, I feel like I would have still been chasing the carrot almost,
yeah, yeah,
So it just depends, bro, man. It depends. Like if you've got the time and you can do it, then do it for as long as you can. If you're enjoying it, then go and do it. But at the same time, it does take up a lot of your time throughout the week. And if you've got your job that you're happy with and you're enjoying that, and that's your cash flow, that's going to be paying you well. Then
yeah,
there's only a certain amount of hours in the day, right? So if you're going to be going on academies and getting a mentor and trying to buy property as
yeah,
well, and in the future, then I think if you could concentrate on that and then do your day job, I think that would kind of be where I prioritize my time as a young man.
yeah.
And then the football
That
would
makes-
be like a bonus.
Yeah, yeah. No, I fully get you. Yeah, definitely need to think about that one for sure.
Yeah, but you're a young
But
dude, man. As long as you can play and you're enjoying it, then do it. But at the same
yeah,
time, we ain't getting no younger, and before you know it, you'll be 30, bro. It goes quick, you know.
Does it?
It goes quick. That 25 to 20 to 30, that little period there goes real quick, bro. So
Oh,
I think if you're enjoying it, do it. But at the same time, start laying some eggs, start making some foundations elsewhere, like you have been, and pursue that. You know, put just as much time as you're putting into football, if not more, into building your future. You know,
definitely, man.
because
No,
it
that's
can be
good
a cruel
advice, man. Thank
game.
you for that.
No
It
worries.
is with it. I've seen that before for sure.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and it will continue to happen. You know, the odds of making it in that game are very, very small. Whereas if you build yourself up and work and build a business or start buying property, then you're guaranteeing yourself success rather than putting it in someone else's hands, you know?
yeah, for
So
sure, man. For sure,
that's what I'll say, bro.
for sure. No, I appreciate that a lot, man. Thanks for the advice.
No worries, bro, man. Well, you have a good day, and I hope you buy a property at some point. Try and get in sooner
Yeah,
rather than later, because prices are gonna go
exactly.
up.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
if you get yourself in the next year or so, then you'll be looking at some good gains over the next couple years. So try and get in as soon
Definitely,
as you can, man. And
definitely.
if you ever need some help in the future, then you know where I am.
100%, man. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Luke. Really
No
appreciate that,
worries,
man.
Exhaust, bro. You have a good day, bro, and keep up the good work, yeah?
All do. All right, then, man. Take
All right,
care.
my boy. Take care, bro.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.